My name is Esperanza, and I'm Media and Makeup student level 3 at Barnet in Southgate College. Today I'm going to be doing a smoky day eye makeup look. To start with, I'm going to sterilize my hands so to avoid any infections. I'm using a hand sanitizer. I've already cleansing toning moisturizer rose skin. I've also used the Mantify base from Kiko just to avoid any shine in her skin. And I've done one eye side, and I'm going to be doing the other eye, and I'll demonstrate how I done this particular eye. I'm using this white base look because I want to emphasize the color of that I'm going to put it underneath. So I'm just using down the base of the eye so the color comes through when I use the shadows. I'm only covering at the moment the eyelid because I only want to emphasize this area, as you can see here. And here I'm going to be using the darker shadow, so I'm only covering basically the top of the lid with the white base so the color can come through. I have done the base on the color now, so I'm going to be using the shadows, starting with the lighter color, putting a little bit of my hand to remove the excess of the color, and I'll start in the corner of the eye. And I'm actually patting in the colors so the shadows to stay in rather than rubbing across. Can you open your phone, please? Close it. It's not important if you put anything underneath just to catch the little excess that's falling down, because I haven't done the base yet. If you've done the base, then yes, you would be very careful when applying the shadows, in case if anything falls down on the... Open for me. Close it. As you see, I'm not rubbing the color. I'm just tapping in, so making sure they actually stay on the area that I covered in white. It's better for you to start with less and add slowly, rather than putting too much and not be able to control the color. As you can see, I've covered all the area that I put the base on, the white. And you end up with this, just cover on the side. Now I'm gonna start doing this dark color here, which is the smoky look. And I'm gonna be mixing two colors for that. I'm not using black, I'm using the dark brown. And I'm mixing again with a slightly darker and checking the excess again. So I'm starting from the corner, moving my way in. And slowly bringing the color into the eye to create this lovely look. What I did on the other eyes, I used this tape so it helps me to line up, and that's what I'm gonna do here. And I've done it the color, the shadow first, so it guides me where to place. It's not too close, and make sure the eyes are even. Some people do it before they start it, so I normally apply halfway through. It's just a matter of preference. And making sure you're matching the other eyes as well. The same color I'm using, the same brush, just change the brush for the darker color. With this lighter color, I'm going to use on the top. And I'm going to blend in. Remember the first one I just put on the top, just dumped in, basically without blending. And this one here, I'm actually blending because I don't want this harsh color to appear. And you can carry that all the way down to the corner here. You keep on comparing the eyes just to make sure that they're actually level and balancing. Because I done one eye first, I may need to do a small adjustment on the other one, but just making sure that I'm using exactly the same colors, the same brush to carry on. Open it for me, please. Yeah. Just gonna use a little bit more dark on this side here, just to make sure it's balancing with the other one. More to the corner of there. If you want to use the liner, and make sure that you just catch right the end of the lashes. Use the tape to guide you for the liner. And making sure you're just right at the bottom of the lashes. I'm going to use an eye pencil, which I sterilized before, just to avoid infections. Look up for me, please. And I'm going to use the eye pencil to go right down here on the line. Again, keep on looking on the other eye just to make sure that it's balancing. Some clients may have watery eyes. Just buffing here the color now. Just make sure it's blending in. And it's actually balancing. I'm removing the tape now. Just make sure you don't rip the model's skin, so it has to be gentle. There you are. Now I'm going to apply the mascara. I find it easier if I hold on to the lid and do the mascara upwards. The same mascara I'm using on the bottom lashes. I've sterilized everything before I start doing the work. Also applies with the brushes. I've cleaned all my brushes before I started. And now I'm going to finish on eyebrow. And then I'm starting with the base foundation now. So I've done one already, and I'm just going to emphasize the end here with the black pencil or a dark brown. And I'm going to be using two different tones because I want a little bit of shade on the skin. So again, I'm going to put on the back of my hand for hygienic reasons. And I'm going to start. There's two ways to do it. You can match both of them to find out the perfect match of your model's skin. Or you can do the way I normally do it. I know her skin, and I will be applying just around the sides first before I go any further. So apply around. to create a little bit of shade. People say for you to contouring, you need to put the basic first, but I think everyone works different. That's the way I work. I go around with the darker shade first. And again to the sides here. And I go back and make sure that the foundation stays on the skin accordingly. Make sure that when you're matching the colors of the foundation, you match the neck as well. If you need to go a little bit lower on the neck, by all means do it. I've covered all around the area. I've left the middle side. That's where I'm going to be doing my light shading. Like I said, everyone works different. That's the way I work, by going around with the shading. Okay. For that, I'm going to be using a different brush. I'm using the back of my hand. As you notice right at the beginning, I've sterilized my hands, so I'm avoiding, there's no risk of infection. I'm not going straight into the tube and taking the foundation out. A little bit on the forehead. Okay. Just making sure I'm covering all the small imperfection on the skin with my foundation. Again, I use the big brush that I've used before just to blend in the edges. Make sure that you don't see one color or two different colors of foundation. We're almost done now. Just gonna apply the powder, very light powder, and the cheek colors and the lips, and we'll be done. So when you're doing the coverage of the foundation, just make sure that you cover all the areas, and make sure, like I said before, your neck, the color that on your chin always match the neck. So people look at you, they're not gonna see two different shades on the foundation. I'm gonna put my brush down, and I'm using a Mary Kay powder. Taking into the lid, removing the excess first. I'm just gonna go around, still quite a lot. On the light area. So that's enough. I'm gonna use this dark powder to go on the outside areas where I use a slightly darker foundation. I'm using MAC cheek color, and I'm gonna be mixing two of them. Smell for me? Smell like me. So I'm using these two matte colors. One is matte and one with a little bit of shimmery. So the matte one I'm using on the bottom. Of the upper of her cheek, and the light one I'm going to be using just with a little bit of shimmery. Just removing the excess again. For lip color, because it's a smoky eyes, I'm still going to be going with the dramatic color. For this particular tutorial, I'm choosing the Heroin Matte from MAC. and just gonna be sterilizing that. And I'm gonna be using a different paint brush again. You can use a lip primer if you have to, but I found that with matte base, the lipsticks stay quite long, so I'm not going to be using any primer on the lips. And I'm not using any eyeliner either. Now I'm quite happy just looking in the mirror. The eyes balancing. It's balanced, both eyes. The lips, I'm quite happy the lips as well, in the color on her cheek. So I believe we finished today's look. So I'm just going to remove this.